Hey everybody, I'm Morgan.
And this is Ryan.
And we're talking Chitty.
Oh, there it goes. Alexa. Alexa. Oh, no, just give me the red ring. Fucking motherfucker.
What does the red ring mean?
Alexa. Alexa.
This is a great commercial for Alexa, by the way.
Well, I think you have to talk to it nicely. Alexa. Alexa, please play Rage Against the Machine.
Shuffling songs by Rage Against the Machine on Amazon Music. No matter how.
Oh, there we go. Top us now. Wow, 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 wow. You guys like Rage?
Of course.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish these guys were still around. Fucking listen to them all the time. I'll be jamming it out at work and I'll forget that my headphones are unplugged.
Okay.
And Generation of Funk is my favorite song, which just popped on.
Okay.
And everybody looks at me and I'm like, oh, sorry. I'll quiet this thing down.
It's like blasting.
I used to piss off. Who was that guy? He was a tanker guy in your platoon. E6 dude. God damn it. What's his name?
What, Jenner?
No. The other guy. The other tanker.
Randolph?
No, I'm talking about while we were in Iraq. Randolph wasn't with us in Iraq.
Yeah.
What was that other guy's name? He was a nice guy. He was an E6. God damn, what's his name?
Anyway.
He was in your platoon.
Yeah,
how many E6s were there?
Well, there was Jenner, and then there
Stags?
was...
You had Stags?
Oh, my...
And then you had some other guy.
Yeah, but Stags was a Bravo.
Oh, that's right. He was a Bravo.
Dude, did you hear about him?
No.
No.
He had a fucking heart attack, man. He's in intensive care. He's been there for fucking 2 months.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. They moved him out of Louisiana to Texas. So I've been in contact with, I don't know, one of his girlfriend friends or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's on life support.
Jesus.
That's his life right now. And I'm I was roommates with the guy. I mean, he was my squad leader and everything. And yeah, seeing hooked up to all these things. I'm fuck.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I actually went out to, cause Stax is from Chicago. And, I went out to the pool hall that he grew up in and took some pictures to send over to him.
Nice.
So, but I mean, I'll probably never see him.
Yeah, that's terrible. And they don't know how long he has or how it's going or anything or.
Yeah, no, I mean they definitely don't know anything. I mean, yeah, he's day by day,
Wow.
Jesus.
Man, that's crazy. I did not know about that.
Yeah.
You don't want that pizza?
Not right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, pizza?
Yeah, the pizza man just came too. It was all just a hot mess today. All a hot mess.
Just a
lot of
lot.
stuff going on and yeah. Anyways. So yeah, man, we were talking though about guys with kids.
Yeah, talking about Nino.
Yeah, so what's it like having 3 daughters?
Yeah, 3 daughters.
Oh man. Having 3 daughters is probably the craziest thing.
I'd say.
I mean,
I think two's
they,
hard.
yeah. I mean, they are like massive headaches, but at the same time, like I get like the reward every day of like coming home and like,
They're so excited to see Dad.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly. I mean, like I like, well, I like open the door and like, I mean, you got three little people jumping on you.
Right.
Aww, that's sweet.
And yeah, and they're gone right now. I mean, my wife
Nice.
and kids are in Greece for fucking 2 weeks.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
but the house is so quiet
I bet.
that like it's almost like disturbing.
I can imagine. Having all that life in there at some point and then like just having nothing in there. I don't know what to do with myself when everybody's gone.
Oh no, me either.
I have no idea what to do.
You have
I
true
mean,
freedom.
Yeah, and I tried to watch a movie last night. All right, so you know what I ended up watching?
What's that?
Moana.
Oh,
Who is it?
the kid movie, Moana.
Oh,
The
Jesus.
Disney
That's a good
movie?
movie, though.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good movie, but like being fucking 33, you think that like a grown-up should be able to watch a movie.
Yeah,
No.
man. You got 3 daughters.
Yeah, we
It's totally
watched
cool.
a lot of Spider-Man and Cars.
I watched a lot of Nemo by
Toy
myself in the day. Toy Story,
Yeah,
Cars.
that
Yeah,
was a big
Cars
one.
is definitely. I've seen that probably at least
a
a
million
good.
times.
Yeah, 1,000,001
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
Well, you know a movie I'm going to watch tonight,
What's that?
just to piss off my girls, is I'm going to watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Ooh.
Well, that's actually on Doritos bag right now, so that's a good idea.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if I could, I would watch the new Marvel movie, but I don't think I can get that one yet. What is it? Endgame?
Ooh.
On the piratebay.se, you might.
What's that?
What?
What?
I'm not saying that again. No, I said on the piratebay.se, you might be able to find it.
Ah,
Are you a pirate? Do you sell the 7 seas? Or no?
Does he know what that means?
Do you know what this means? Do you know what I'm saying to you right now?
I don't really.
No, he doesn't know.
Oh, he doesn't know.
Well, basically, you are a
You're a pirate.
pirate.
And you download movies offline.
And you just don't use a good computer because it's going to have a lot of viruses.
Damn, Morgan, you act like you know.
I just know because a friend told me once. And, like, that's all.
The friend of a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
I got you.
But you guys were getting into some really crazy stories the other night, and I made you stop.
Yeah, you told us to wait for this podcast.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where, like, we got 3
I don't
girls.
know.
You have 2 girls, and I think that the biggest thing with you was, like, you didn't understand how to deal with all those emotions.
Oh my God, there were so many emotions. Everybody's crying. You would be
Dramatic.
crying because one of the kids is crying because they hurt themselves, and
I
then
wouldn't
the other
cry.
one looks at you guys crying, and she just starts crying, and I'm just like screaming at everyone, "Why the fuck are we crying?" Nobody knows. And then somebody in the house just has an issue, an emotional breakdown about something. Who knows why? I don't know why. What are you doing, Ski?
I just went outside to have a smoke.
Nice.
Fucking kill myself one day at a time.
I get you.
Yeah, no, that is one thing that like having all the girls does actually
Is what?
actually like having emotions, like we're goddamn infantrymen, and then you have all these girls and the next thing you know, like, you start feeling stuff. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, never felt this emotion before.
yeah.
We were
like,
talking last night about just the older we've gotten, it seems like the more emotional we've gotten. You were watching something on, the computer the other day, and you said, man, it touched my heart.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah.
Big
Like, I'm
softies.
sitting there, like, fucking crying like a fucking baby.
Yeah, could you imagine telling people that back in 2005, 2006?
No.
You probably get socked.
Fucking
yeah.
pussy.
Yeah, you might get smacked right in your bitch-ass face.
Yeah, no, it was like a big fight. And, but now, like, I pull this stuff up and, I sent you that thing last night with the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, man, you sent me that. I
Yeah.
loved that. That was fantastic.
Dude, so the Ultimate Warrior passed away in 2014.
Okay.
Oh.
And they have this, like, awesome, like, thing online about the Ultimate Warrior, that the WWF put together. And, dude, I watched it, and it was like right after I got off the phone, I'm crying like a fucking baby.
Nice.
Aw.
And, like, because my go-to when I was, like, a kid was Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior.
Of course.
And, yeah, so, like, fucking, like, it's got, like, a bunch of cool scenes. But then, I guess Ultimate Warrior's last, like, public, like, saying was the one I sent you.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. What is it? A man's heart will beat its final beat. His lungs will take its final breath. Blah blah blah. But, like, what that man did, will, like, God, like, make him live forever. You
Right.
know.
Immortalized him.
Yeah. And I was, like, sitting there. I was like, and out of nowhere, man, I just started fucking crying. I'm like,
Happens.
what? I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
What's going on?
Yeah, like, I'm not supposed to be doing this.
This isn't what I do. Yeah. No, you're good. I remember the first thing I cried to as an adult. I think the first time Morgan ever saw me cry was watching The Notebook.
Yep.
And it was the ending. And I just thought, man, that is the saddest thing. And I just started crying. And Morgan was all excited, like, oh, my God, you cried.
Emotions.
Yeah. Yeah, since then, though, there's been a many a times. I've honestly say I've cried more since coming back from Iraq than before.
You're maturing.
I guess,
It's a mature thing.
normally,
Yeah.
like the only times
Yeah, I
I
mean-
would cry when I came back, though, was when I was drunk.
Yeah. You
That
get
was
really
it.
emotional.
Well, I mean, like, I honestly can't remember a time I cried, like, when I was there or whatever, like, afterwards. But, like, I think it's like when you hit, like, your 30s,
Yeah.
you just, all these emotions come up and, you're like, oh, fuck. Like,
You've dealt with
Wow.
more things.
Well, that's
You've
what I
had
was
more
thinking.
loss by the time you're 30.
Kids.
Hell, some of your
know-
parents might have, passed away, or for sure maybe you're closer to your grandparents passing away.
Yeah.
You've dealt maybe with some, illnesses yourself. Yeah, by the time you're 30,
Having
you've-
children, the miracle
Yeah.
of life,
by the time you're 30, you've done some growing up and you've done some living.
When you guys
Oh,
have been
dude,
through a lot.
I could tell you last year, when I lost my dad, was, like, pretty, like, that, like, really fucked up a lot of things for me.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I remember.
and then, like, back in December, like, both my grandparents, like, my nan and my granddad in England, that, like, they passed away, and I was like, fuck, like, this sucks.
Right.
Like, and I want to say that it's harder when you lose somebody from natural causes than, like, in combat. Like the combat losses are traumatizing, but, like, when you lose, like, a parent, or grandparent or whatever,
Right.
it's like you, like, take a step back and you're like, fuck, like, damn.
Yeah.
That can happen.
You know, Morgan's dealing with that actually right now.
Yeah, just my dad. You know the story. So he's got something going on now where something like graft host something where it's not agreeing with him. I don't know. But so he's having to go to a cancer center like every 2 weeks now, and I don't know. It's a lot. So I'm not looking forward to that, but I kind of know it's coming.
Yeah. I mean, it is a lot. Like my dad was at the one in Columbus, the cancer center, and God, like, like it. I mean, it was just hard. Like I'd take him in for chemo. The one thing that was nice about it is that he loves ice cream.
Mm. Okay.
And so, like, they would literally, like, feed him fucking gallons of ice cream.
Hell yeah.
And,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and he's sitting there, he's got all these fucking, IVs and all this stuff, like, sticking out of his arms. And
Eating tubs of ice cream.
That's awesome.
Yep. And he's just eating some ice cream. And then, like, I mean, that's the most that I ever, like, got a chance to, like, sit down and, like, talk to my dad. It's like he's going through chemo. And, yeah, I actually got to sit down and talk to him. And, because, I'm just like my dad, like, we're fucking men.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have feelings, we don't have emotions, and like the only thing that we've ever done is just be men, really.
Right.
I think it's funny that you're talking about this now because, this morning when we were talking to my buddy Andrew Saldana about PTSD, we had talked about just that, the not being able to show emotions, not having emotions, not,
right.
Whatever. Just, we still grew up in that. I think it's kind of like the last part of the not being able to show emotions, and of course everybody, from previous generations, like, oh, stop being a pussy, just whining about things. But in all honesty, like, me, I didn't grow up hearing I love you all the time.
Right.
I didn't always get hugs and kisses, but now you see kids nowadays, and shit, I hug and kiss my kids
all the time,
all day throughout the day. And
Yeah.
so it's, I think we kind of were that last generation of elder millennials that went through that
Tough
kind of
love.
tough love type deal, And I'm not saying it was better or worse.
No.
I don't honestly know. I just think it's funny that you had mentioned that because we had just talked about this
Yeah.
earlier today with somebody else, and yeah, it's not. I don't think that's correct. I think guys should be able to show emotions. I don't think there's anything
Absolutely.
wrong with that. You shouldn't be teaching your son not to have emotions.
I agree.
I think that's why there's probably a lot of violence within guys because we don't. We talked about it earlier about emotional intelligence. Just if you don't have the emotional intelligence to communicate with somebody how and what you're feeling, well, you're just kind of left with fists. So
Yeah.
I think being able to communicate and have these emotions is a healthy, product.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean it sucks.
Yeah, and the one thing, like, when it comes to, like, just being guys, like, I'll have to say, like, there really isn't much positive reinforcement,
Yeah.
like, to guys.
Oh, no.
Like everybody backs up, the wives, the moms, and stuff like that.
Sure.
But the one thing that you don't ever see is, telling dad that you're doing a good job,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
No.
that's one thing that, like my wife and I are working on is like, for, her to say thank you,
Yeah.
because being a guy, being a dad, like you don't get that all the time.
Of course
You
not.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's a fact.
That's really good that you guys do that though, because like, we all have things to work on,
Mhm.
and that's good that you guys are mature enough to be able to be like, okay, yeah,
communicate.
let's do that. Because we've had many times where, you know, we've had to say, like, I need you to do this more, you know, because I don't feel it, you know, I don't. So that's good. You just see a lot of, instead of resenting each other, you can actually communicate that. So that's awesome.
No, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I've learned, like, in the last couple of weeks, you know, it's like, you know, like just being happy with each other, you
Yeah.
know, and it's hard, you know, because like, you know, we're guys, you know, like I can't be happy, you know, like I'm a guy,
Right.
you know, like, you know, I'm supposed to be this fucking angry, you know, dude, but, you know, at the same time, you know, like,
Who says we can't be happy? Who
Right.
says we can't be the fun dad? You know,
Right.
we're all
Yeah,
envious of the
exactly.
fun fucking dad that just lets go and says, "Fuck, you know, I'm gonna break this mold. I'm just gonna have a great fucking time." You know.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I never felt I
Yeah.
had to be angry. I just kind of felt it was a byproduct of my upbringing and my, you know, personal choices as I became an adult that made me unhappy. And, you know, you grow up in kind of a weird family situation, and then you have, you know, a war to contend with afterwards. Like,
There's
yeah,
going to be
you-
some anger.
You didn't set yourself
Yeah.
up to be happy, but you know, I am starting to learn. And when you were talking about what you and your wife were doing, I was going to mention to you, find Jada Smith and Will Smith. They talk a lot about their relationship, and I think it's fantastic. They came up with Will told Jada, "Hey, you know, fill your cup. I'm tired of trying to make you happy. I don't think I
Yeah.
can make you happy."
No.
And he said, honestly, I think you can't honestly be happy because you don't know how to be happy yourself. He goes, so you don't come back to me until your cup is full and you're 100% happy with yourself.
Right.
And so that's what I would say is fill your cup. Morgan and I, we remind each other all the time, you know, hey, fill your cup. Don't worry
I
about
can't
what
make
I'm
you.
doing. Don't
Yeah.
control my life. Don't worry about my life. I promise you I'm going to be okay. You control your life only and take care of yourself. Fill your cup. Make sure that you're happy every single day. And that also, you know, when I'm saying it to her, I'm also saying that right back to me.
Yeah.
Of if you're going to tell somebody this, or, you know, your spouse that, you have to listen to your own words, because you can't just constantly be reminding that person to be happy, but yet you're bitching at that person the whole time about not being happy.
Right,
Because
right.
you're not doing your, you know, you're not living
Your
your
own
best
justice.
life. Robert Kiyosaki even says it, mind your business. And when he says mind your business, he means have a business and mind that business.
Yeah.
You know, worry about you and your financial intelligence. Same
Not
thing, just
anyone
worry about
else.
your happiness by filling your cup. So yeah, I think that's fantastic you and your wife do that.
yeah, yeah. And being able to like sit down and like talk to your spouse, it's like I can't talk to anybody besides like you and PJ and whatnot. You
Yeah,
know,
if he
like,
answers his phone.
yeah, oh yeah, PJ answers his phone. That motherfucker. That fucking guy.
I fucking love that guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like I'm able to call you and actually talk,
Yeah, I answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and you answer.
And I don't judge you.
But that is like the big word,
Judge?
like not to be judged.
Yeah.
You know, like, because like I'll tell my wife like certain things, and yeah, and she'll judge me on it, and I'm like, like
That's not how this
we're
is supposed to
suppo-
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now we're actually, you know, like talking about it.
Fuck yeah.
And
That's awesome.
good.
You're
Not
doing the
getting-
right thing.
Yeah, and not getting judged so much, because I mean, like, it's tough. Like, you know, like you actually open up, and next thing you know, you're getting fucking judged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Morgan
Uh,
judges me a lot. I know exactly how you
I
feel.
don't judge you.
No. Think about that.
When?
You have judged me. I thought I said judged as in past tense. I apologize if I made it present. No, man, I would open up with Morgan, and Morgan would even flat out tell me, you communicate too much. And I was like, whoa, okay, I thought, you know, we were supposed to know everything about each other, and yeah, and we had to work on that.
Yeah.
You're looking at me like I'm crazy right now.
I don't remember that.
Okay. This was last week, guys, so
No, but no, it is true though. Like we go through the last 16 years, we've gone through stages where we've communicated, and then sometimes you can just talk something to death, I think, but
Never. If the problem is not fixed, then we have to continue
yeah.
to open communication, not close communication, because closing communication is never going to build more awareness. It's kind of like, think about right now with the President Trump and China. You know, if President Trump were to shut down communications, or President Xi for China shut down communications, that would be a horrible thing right now, because the world economy is kind of balanced on this right now. Are we going to go to 25% tariffs for every, product that we, receive from China? You're about, you're getting close to a period where it might be better to start manufacturing things back home. And people would love to say, oh, yeah, go manufacture in the United States. But remember, with that manufacturing comes a certain level of pollution, comes a certain level of chemicals that you have to give out, or you have to get rid of somewhere. So, because we don't have the most efficient and best, safest, eco-friendly ways to produce some of the things that we all enjoy. So, with that manufacturing, there's a whole new ball of wax that you're going to have to contend with.
And sure, it's like marriage. You can compare the two. I get it. Communication.
Marriage is a negotiation. I don't care how you slice that.
What I was going to say, too, is, like, I noticed when our kids were younger, like, it was harder. It was harder to remember who you are before kids when they're young, because you're so used to taking care of this person and people and never really focusing on yourself. And you're focused on making sure your kids have everything that they need, and that you're working so they have everything that they want, and you can have the best birthday parties and all these things. And so when they finally do get a little bit of independence and get away from you, and you kind of have to come back to your relationship and be like, oh, hey, how are you? I'm Morgan.
True. That's a good
and
point.
You're like, I'm Ryan. Nice to meet you again. Like, we're totally different people now because we've parented these children and we barely slept the last 7 years. So I don't even know who you are anymore. And you have to, like, even, like, sexually, everything. Like, you really do have to just kind of learn everything. Your woman, your body changes, like, everything changes, and the dude's usually fatter now, and, like, everybody's having to deal with it.
Man, I'm more skinny than I was.
Now we're good, but our kids are older. It just takes a while. Like, you have to go through the dad bod, the mom bod, like, kind of, you just have to go through these stages. And, like, and I see a lot of relationships end when the kids are young, because it's hard to not want to be selfish when you're having to give so much to all these other people.
God, they're so needy. Kids.
Yeah.
It's like they just need you or something.
Well, I have to say, I'm embracing my dad bod.
You should embrace your dad bod.
You should.
I did drop 20 pounds in the last
couple
of months.
Hell yeah,
but, still sitting at 225 pounds and, back in the gym, but, being able to put muscle back on, it's something else, Well, I definitely won't be back to the Iraq days, but
you can get there.
You never know.
I got there last year, but again,
it took us 10 years.
I realized, and honestly, here's the coolest thing. It only took me about 4 months to go from like 275 to, 212, I think is where I got down to. But then I'm like, man, maintaining 212 pounds for me, my body, that's a shit ton of work.
Yeah,
and now I don't even have to try. As long as I just intermittent fast, and I only need about 1 meal a day. I'm not outside doing some hard labor where I need 3 meals a day. And I'm not starving. Hell, I got, Doritos and
chips and beer.
And Lay's and beer I'm drinking right now. So it's like, it's not like I'm doing any kind of hard work now. It's just I can maintain a 230 frame a lot easier than a 212. So
yeah, it's a little easier.
Because I'll jump from like 220 to 230. Once I hit 230, I'm like, all right, we'll just knock it back down to 220. And I'll just kind of dance around 220, 230 here and there.
But this is when you're supposed to not give a shit. Your kids are young. You and your wife have all this time together to like figure each other out again. Like you don't have to.
Up.
Yeah, you don't have to look the best. That's why you're married to this person, so they accept you for all that you are, even if you're only just trying to find somebody to handle your bag of crazy.
Let me ask you, and I want you to be honest. Do you guys ever threaten each other like, well, fuck it, I'll just leave. I'm fucking out of here. I don't want to do this. We'll get a divorce. Do you guys ever threaten that?
No.
That's
No,
good.
That's good.
That's good.
I mean, well,
He
I mean,
goes,
like the thought was put out there a couple months ago, but
Yeah.
you know, like we were able to like sit down and be like,
Okay.
all right, you know, like why would you say that? And
Because I'm an asshole.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, it is because me. Like,
Yeah.
I am an asshole.
Mhm.
So
I'm an asshole, yo. Tell me you know that
yo.
song. You know that song by Dennis Leary?
oh yeah. Yep.
And
I'm an
their special
asshole,
headpieces.
So I
yo.
asked that question just because that was my thing. You know, like I'll get fucking pissed off, and I've learned from my parents, you know, just say the nastiest thing ever. I don't know, maybe it's an Irish thing, who knows? And or maybe it's a Mexican thing. It's Mexican Irish, but one of these two groups of people, you know, just were very, very nasty. And so I grew up hearing that kind of stuff. And I remember I used to say that to Morgan all the time. And within the
Nasty.
last couple of years, I just started telling her, you know, honest, the truth. Man, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going any fucking where. So I don't threaten that anymore because I know I'm just in this for the long haul.
Well, when we first got married, our first year, I think we threatened each other every day with divorce in Alaska.
Yeah, I was going to say,
And
but we were
then
in Alaska.
I would get in the car and drive and be like, where the fuck am
Where'd
I
you
going to go?
No goddamn where.
Turned around and came home.
Yeah.
But then, like,
Dude.
when we were building the bus, we threatened each other with divorce all the time,
Daily.
too.
At least daily.
At least once
At
a
least
day.
once a day. That's a fact. People, we have said that I don't know how many times on
All
our
the time.
podcast. I think people just think, it's cute and funny.
No.
And we didn't say it like, I'm going to divorce you.
No, it was, I'm fucking leaving you.
Fuck you.
I
I'm
would get
fucking
my
outta here.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm walking down the road with a backpack on, and I'm like, I don't need your shit or your bus or your fucking truck.
And then
I'm gone, and I'm walking down the road, and then all of a sudden, about 10 minutes
I would come
later,
pick her up.
Ryan comes and gets me in the truck, and he smiles and says, I don't want you to go
I'm
anywhere.
sorry. I love you.
And we
I'm an
finally are just like,
asshole.
why are we doing this over
So
and over?
dumb.
We're
So
fucking, we've been
dumb.
together forever.
Since we were kids.
What are we doing? Like, it's
Yeah.
just exhausting, and we just wanted to hurt each other because we were miserable,
That's all it
and
was.
we wanted each other to feel bad, and it's terrible because that's your best friend. Why do you want your best friend to feel like shit with you? Like,
Why, Morgan? Why do you do this to
Yeah.
me?
fuck you, dude. You do it too.
Well, I have to say, like meeting you guys in 2003 Christmas time.
Oh, when we first got
Oh my
married.
God,
Holy
yes,
shit.
I know exactly what you're talking
You
about.
were
I
at the
forgot I knew you
party?
back then. Yeah.
You were at the party?
Yeah,
The...
it was us and
Yeah.
Weatherwax and
Braddock,
Braddock.
Withers.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
I forgot about
Or
that.
PJ
not
wasn't even
Weatherwax.
around
yeah,
yet.
Withers. Yeah, no,
Withers.
yeah, PJ wasn't there.
He wasn't even
Uh,
thought of yet.
Yeah, Withers and
That's cool.
Braddock, and like we were at the house, and like like I was like fucking 18 by a few months, and you guys were too.
Yep.
Guess what?
Yeah. Yep.
18.
What, Krabby? You just turned 18, right?
Yeah, like
Oh, yeah.
I
I
actually.
had like just turned 18.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
I graduated when I was 17.
Yeah.
I had just turned
You were like 3
18,
months into 18.
like a couple days after our turning blue ceremony.
September 30th, he had just turned 18.
Yeah, and I graduated October 16th. And then we got to
Oh,
Alaska, I
okay.
think.
December 3rd.
Yeah, December. Might have been
It's
November
December 3rd.
something. December 3rd.
No,
Let's
it was
go with
after
that.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
So anyways, you were talking about that. Meeting us
Yeah.
early.
I forgot about that.
And like we're all sitting there, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, like hanging out with you guys. I'm like, like this is what I want, like in a marriage, like
Oh, no, you
in the
don't.
future.
I appreciate
and,
that.
That's sweet.
Yeah. And I can't really say that I've got that now, but I think I've got something pretty good going.
I'm telling you.
And
It takes time.
It
Oh.
does.
what's that?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, I
Yeah,
promise you, man, we still don't have our shit figured out. And we have been told, all the time, like, oh, my God, I look up to your marriage and this and that. And,
Ugh.
man, if we could have had, like, the Truman Show on our entire relationship,
Oh,
I think people
God.
would be fucking appalled.
I think they would be disgusted. They'd be like, how are you even with each other? Like,
Yeah.
why are y'all together at all?
We have been so nasty to one another. I mean, just just pure evil,
It was just
saying the
ugly.
nastiest, ugliest things.
We have been through some really ugly shit, though.
Oh, fact.
So
But I guess the big takeaway was,
we didn't take
no
it
matter how
serious,
hard
though?
it ever got, we
We
always
always-
stayed together because it was easier doing things with her than without her.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
think
honestly the truth. And I love you, but it was honestly, I wouldn't want to not do this with you. I didn't want to. I mean, when I first got to Alaska, a little fun fact for me, that was actually the first time you saw me cry.
Oh my God, that was the first time I saw you cry.
I got to Alaska, man. And
I was like, it's okay,
there
baby.
so I got Morgan with me. She's not on my orders. I'm a fucking eat nothing.
We
Like,
have
I don't-
no money.
I have
in
no
your
money.
account 'cause his
I'm eating
mom.
top. Her and I were eating, top ramen. If we wanted to spice it up,
99-cent bean burritos.
it was awful, man. And so I just started bawling because I was like, I don't know what to fucking do with you right now. Like, this would be easier without you.
Yeah.
But I knew, like, shit, at least I got her here with me. So,
Yeah.
But I appreciate you saying that about us.
Yeah, that is sweet. Fucking Sergeant Kinsey
Yeah, no,
squared us away.
No, I remember sitting there like over Withers, like island, and like us just going like back and forth, and like, yeah, it was pretty cool. You know?
Oh, that's good.
I am a pretty cool guy. So
Man, we were so
Well,
new
well,
to
I'm
life.
a pretty cool guy too.
you're the coolest guy. I remember, honestly, when you and I kind of reconnected after getting out of the military, because kind of everybody once, they leave the military, they just got to go find their own way, find their own
Yeah.
what they're going to do with the rest of their life. Because, the fun fact about the military is, as hard as it is the easiest job you'll ever do. People tell you what to do, when to do it, and how you're going to dress when you're doing this. And then when you get out of the military, you have to figure out what the fuck you're going to do with your life. And you just feel like a little kid again, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I remember we were living in, I think, Granger at that time. And I was sitting on the back of my deck, and we were talking about solar stuff. And you were just, I think, going to school for engineering? Or you had just graduated?
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah, no, I was in my third or fourth year.
Yeah, okay.
When we were talking about that. Yeah, no, I remember that perfectly.
Yeah, dude. No, that's cool you still remember that. And since then, I mean, hell, we at least call each other at least once a month. Check in with each other, see how they're doing, and yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that gets like lost on people. It's like being able to like call and like talk to somebody.
You got to work on relationships.
What's that?
Oh, I was saying that you have to work on relationships. Not just, we were just talking about spouses, but even between buddies, between two women. I mean, you have to work on the relationships that mean something to you.
Right.
Yeah, of course. Like
Unless the other person doesn't want him to work, But if you're in a position where you're both wanting to try, then you might as well. What else are you doing on this life? It's better to spend it with somebody else.
yeah. Like if you guys ever like renewed your vows, like I'd be more than happy to.
I would
be
totally
there.
have you do it. I would totally have you do it. We've talked about it. I thought maybe on the 20th, because that's in like 4 years. Maybe do like a 20th year bash and just have a big party.
I want a bowl of cocaine
Oh my God.
at our 20th. Okay?
It's going to be like baby X-Lax and cocaine, and you're going to be shitting your brains out.
No, I want a bowl. If I got to renew
You
my
would
vows.
OD, bro. You'd OD.
What are you talking about? It's not just for me. I'm not saying I personally want a whole bowl of cocaine. I'm saying,
You said
no,
that.
I just
though.
want that as a centerpiece.
I'll take a bowl though.
right?
Like
Right?
I just want a bowl of weed. I kind of wanted to do some shrooms. Should we just bring a bunch of drugs to this party and we'll just do a bunch
Have
of
a
drugs?
bowl of weed, a bowl of coke, and a bowl of shrooms.
We'll do some shrooms and coke and weed, and we'll just have a fucking day of it. We'll do like the Christmas movie. What was that?
A Christmas movie.
And the with the fucking Seth Rogen, and like
Oh my
the wife gives him a
God.
box of drugs from Craigslist,
Yes.
and he starts taking all the drugs.
Do I look crazy now?
Yes, you look crazy.
Sorry, man. We keep interrupting you. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You need to
go
talk.
oh no, I'm just along for the ride.
Nice.
I got high, so I got sidetracked. Sorry, go. You're good.
No, so I'm glad that, you opened up and talked about your marriage on the podcast. Because Morgan and I, we've been talking more and more where we need to talk about our relationship. And because there's a lot of people that, like I said, have said, man, I look up, to you guys, and you guys beat the odds. Like, there was I think the statistics of a high school sweetheart marriage lasting is like 1%. I mean, it's like
low.
super, super low. And we have another couple that we were in school, in high school with, and they got married like a month before us. They are still together.
Yeah.
And, we talk about it all the time where, we beat the odds. This should not have lasted. And it's cool when you listen to them talk as well, because, like, we just meshed together so well. And we were all friends in high school, but, like, what I mean by mesh, like, just the things that have happened and the uglinesses of it all. Like, because, again, you're a kid with this, I was a kid when Morgan was a kid, and we grew up together as adults, and I think that's the problem, like, when you're trying to make that transition, when you've known someone since being a kid, and now you want to be an adult,
Oh,
So
now you want to play fucking adult now?
Yeah.
You know what, though? I think people, like when you were deployed, and I said this even earlier, when you were deployed, we had our chance to kind of grow separately as well, because you had your own things you were going through. I had my own things I was going through. And
Hangovers don't count, Morgan.
that was
I'm
whatever,
just kidding.
bro.
I was kidding. God, you're so sensitive.
So anyway,
Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh.
that was only after y'all got extended, and it was only after they offered free daycare on Thursday nights. We got daycare from 8 p.m. until 10 p.m. Or no, it was like 7 to 10. So it was enough time to go see like a movie. We would just go and shoot pool. But like, it was just nice. It was nice to have that extra child care, that's for sure.
How long have you and Sarah been married now?
We have been married for 10 years. December.
Nice.
This December.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's definitely,
I still can't believe you didn't invite me to your wedding. That's cool, though.
Oh. All right, Krabby.
when was that?
This call now.
2008? 2009?
I don't know. PJ got an invite.
Oh, did PJ go?
Yeah, PJ
Oh,
went.
good.
Yeah,
That's
PJ
good.
is my best man.
That's
Yep.
right.
So-
Oh, I remember that. Okay, I remember the pictures
I wasn't even
now.
thought of at that time.
That's okay.
It's okay.
Aww.
Krabby, I'm about to reach the phone and fucking murder you.
Hey, but you know what? We are going to get our redemption for this because I'm trying to think of PJ. He has been dating at least 9 years, 10
7?
years? No, it's like
Oh,
at
it's
least
been
9.
10.
I think it's 10.
Yeah, a
now.
long time.
Since Layla was born, so let's say
Yep.
9,
Oh my
9
God.
years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right after that.
they're finally getting married, and so I know I'm pretty super stoked, and it's because of you. You motivated me to where I'm going to go to, what is it?
That online
UFI or UNI? What is that? Where I'm going to become a reverend? I'm going to become ordained, and I'm going to marry PJ and Elise, and you're the whole inspiration for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's somebody cool. I'll be PJ's best man, and you'll be sitting right behind us, and you'll marry him.
Yeah.
So,
And then we are going to just get fucking blackout drunk. That's all I know. I mean, I don't know what your plans are, but that's my plans.
Oh my God.
yeah, that's my plan too.
This might be the
So-
only time PJ ever gets married. Okay, he didn't want to get married the first time, but
It'll
he
just be
really,
exciting.
really likes and loves Elise. So I think this is like the only time. And if this doesn't work out, you'll never go to another PJ
No.
nun wedding ever
This is
again.
a once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Literally in a lifetime. So
Definitely
Yeah.
be remembered.
yeah. So man, I'm gonna make the most of that shindig. This might be the first time a reverend passed out drunk at the reception.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
There's a lot of Catholics out there, right?
So,
Don't the priests drink?
Can we call you Reverend Krabby?
You call me whatever
Yeah.
you want. Just don't call me late for dinner.
Don't worry about it. Silly.
Yeah, you call me whatever you want.
So I want to hear some like drunk stories. We got any funny ones?
I'm
I heard
working on it.
Erickson's yesterday.
Yeah, I told him about
The
what
naked.
Erickson said.
You got any naked drunk stories, Ski?
Yeah. Have you ever got drunk and got naked? Has that happened to you?
Started the
Yeah.
It's
revolution?
happened to me. Oh, shit. Let's hear your naked drunk story.
Let's do it.
All right. So I was down in Benning, living in the barracks, and sure enough, down like a bottle of Crown that night.
Oops.
And oops.
It happens.
And a good buddy of mine, Mikey Montoya, and like we were outside, and we lived in like it was like commons, so there was like multiple buildings around us, and like sure enough, like I went streaking.
Nice.
Like
I remember
through,
this.
yeah, and then like streaking through it, and
Oh my god.
Too much Old School.
what's that?
I said too much of the movie Old School.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the
get
funny
some-
thing is that this guy, Mikey, he called me Blue.
You're my boy,
Get my ball blue.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, my boy Blue, because I was like the young guy.
That's awesome.
I was 20 years old and a sergeant.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like who does that?
Yeah. We do that.
Yeah, we do that. So instead of being 85 years old, then whatever Blue is, like you're my boy Blue.
Yeah. So did you go to KFC after you went streaking or no?
Well, the funny thing is that I used to give the guys $20 on Friday, Saturday night, to go get McDonald's
Okay.
and get some old double stackers, and man, I have to tell you, I woke up one morning. It was probably like 6 or 7 a.m.
Fuck.
I woke up and I literally had a bag of 20 fucking double cheeseburgers.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
That's fucking
And
amazing.
Damn.
And I had one like half in my mouth and like fucking mustard all over my face, and
Oh my god, you're a hot fucking mess. I love it.
oh yeah. and then I go to work on the Monday, and we do a PT test, and
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And so, of course, like in old Sukalsi fashion, I got drunk as fuck on that Sunday night.
Yep. Is there any way to do this but doing that?
Yeah, well, I went and did my 350 PT score, and
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Extended scale.
Yep.
That's awesome.
yeah, no, God, I got so many good stories with me and PJ. Like,
Oh my god.
we'd show up to PT drunk as fuck, just absolutely hammered.
That's awesome.
Like we can't even stand up.
You guys are like leaning against each other in formation. You lean against me, I'll lean against you. We ain't got to sleep with our heads in the mud.
We're holding each other up.
God damn.
Like PJ and I would literally hold hands. Like,
Yes. Fuck
like
yes.
we're standing in the back row formation, just fucking pulling 8 balls. Like,
God damn.
Oh my
not
god.
able to stand up, and we're holding each other's hands so we don't fall over.
It's fucking amazing.
Combat buddies for
And,
life, yo.
Yeah. PJ, you know how I know you're gay? You just held Ski's hand.
Yes, you have a new one.
I haven't found a new one for him in a while. There it is.
There you go. You got it.
Yeah. well, most times, like he would like sleep on my floor and like consolidated, and like,
Yeah, because
Yeah,
he lived at the MP barracks on the other side of the airfield, huh?
Yep.
Yep. I remember that.
yeah, but he would, crash with me like, I don't know, 90% of the time.
That's awesome.
And, we'd, get all fucked up I mean, granted, he was drinking fucking chocolate milk and vodka. Who drinks that?
Chodka.
Oh,
Fucking,
Chodka.
he was such
that
a
was
chode back then.
So gross.
He got me sick as fuck.
Yeah,
so
he did.
One night I was drinking a bunch of beer, and we decide in our, drunken stupor, let's go to the movies. That new Resident Evil movie came out.
I drove because I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I was always fucking DD.
And that was the night Morgan licked exhaust off the back of the Ford Escape.
And I wasn't drunk.
And she wasn't
did
drunk. She
it.
was pregnant, eating exhaust, snow cones. So PJ gets in the car, and it's me, Bates, PJ, and I don't know, maybe someone else. And we get to the movie theater, and he's drinking this Chodka. And so I take some of this chocolate milk and vodka. By the time we get into the theater, it's just spinning on me. I mean, the whole world is turning. And then we sit down in front of Resident Evil. That movie's way too fast for me to keep up with, and I'm way too drunk. And so I go to the bathroom because I think, if I just throw this up, I'll feel better. And so I'm in the bathroom. I can't throw up, and Bates just starts making that gagging noise. Yeah. And as soon as he started doing that, just everything came out, and all I could smell is fucking chocolate milk. And just since then, dude, I was like, that's awful. Well, PJ and Elise just came down and see us about a month ago.
Yeah.
And I brought that up, about his Chodka, and Elise gave him such a hard time. Like, who the fuck even drinks that? That sounds fucking horrible.
Dude, he would show up to my Barracks with a fucking gallon
yes!
of chocolate
So
milk
gross.
and a handle of fucking vodka.
Yeah,
That's so
tucked
gross.
under his arm, and he's like, "Hey, buddy,
Yes.
you want to party?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you drinking?"
I went through a
And
Zima
he's like,
phase.
Oh, Zima.
What's that?
I went through a Zima phase.
What? When we were in Alaska, or?
Yeah, I think. Well, it was that was the end of my Zima phase. So it was high school, and then when we got to Alaska, and we had people actually old enough to buy us alcohol. That's what I would still go for, and yeah, I would put a Jolly Rancher in a Zima. That's what I used to rock out with. So I can't really talk shit about his Chodka.
I got into when we got to Fort Hood. I got into Red Bull and Jaeger. I would do Jaeger bombs.
Her clothes used to come off. I used to love when she drank.
I can't
When are
do
you
that
going to start
anymore.
drinking again? The kids are old enough now. You can drink
No.
again.
I had that
Yeah.
It
peanut.
was so much more fun when you drank.
I had peanut butter
Yeah,
whiskey
do it
last
tonight,
night, and I had a headache.
Put on FaceTime.
I'm listening.
More than happy to see
Woo! I'm wasted.
That's right. We'll just charge admission to this.
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I can't, man.
Well, I mean,
it fucking gives me a
I'll put
headache.
$10 down.
$10.
$10.
I'll
Dang,
take
we're only worth
$10,
$10, babe.
Whatever.
We're only worth $10. You know what? If it's $10 a show, that's cool. But man, if it's $10 a month, we can't do that.
We can't do that.
We're at least worth 20.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're on you got a podcast going. There's probably quite a few people that would
Probably listening.
definitely be interested in seeing that.
I have
So-
noticed Instagram
Possibly.
Instagram accounts that have more asses showing have more followers.
Morgan wants me to show my ass off more online.
I told him he needs to be my ass model so I can get more followers.
I don't have an ass. That's the problem, though.
But that's why you should do it.
What?
Well, start doing some squats there, Krabby.
Dude, I love those comments. Morgan will always show me because I never get on social media unless we're at one of the tree lots or firework lots. And but she'll always show me, she'll put a picture of me up, and then I'll see or she'll show me this random comment you threw in.
Close did the
And-
Miyagi one yesterday.
Yeah, and I always thought man, people that don't know my combat buddies, they're just man, Ryan is sexualized among his combat friends.
They all want a piece of that ass.
Yeah, well, people don't know us.
Hashtag me too.
Yeah, hashtag me too. God, I've heard that me too for so long.
You know the lady that started the whole hashtag me too. Here's the little fun fact about this. For anybody that just got their panties in a wad from me saying that, she actually molested a fucking little boy, and she's the one that started bitching about Weinstein. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How do you molest a little boy, and then you're the one that starts the whole hashtag me too? Makes no sense to me.
Oh wow.
I think that little boy's saying me too as well.
Yeah.
So,
I
But
think
yeah.
so.
I'm not not degrading the whole hashtag Me Too. I think sexual harassment is a huge thing right now that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
So Morgan has her toe suck story that she told the other day. So
Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. I wonder what it would be like if men were sexually harassed. Because we all think right now, oh, that'd be the fucking greatest. I would love to be sexually harassed every day.
Most guys would.
But when it seriously happened all day, every day,
Well, it's different if, like,
guys would hate it.
because we're not
Oh man,
as
could you
big.
imagine having like a female like NCO like, let me suck your dick.
Yeah.
Give me
Or
that
you're
It
dick,
sounds
boy.
cool for like the
Or-
first
or-
month.
Yeah, or I can promote it. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'll sit down and
We got this.
yeah, I'm like, we can do this. Like, you can take care of this bad boy.
Yeah.
She'll be slapping
But,
it around and shit.
Yeah, but what if she's like good 280, because some of these, people are in the military.
They're not cute.
They're big, and because they just gave two shits about their PT standards. And what if this lady's like a good 280 and she's like, you're going to eat this fat pussy right now or you're not getting promoted. Yeah, see, all of a sudden it's a different story, isn't it? Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, fuck, I was getting my dick sucked. It was cool, but now I'm eating fat pussy. Like, this isn't cool no
So
more.
gross.
Oh,
See what I mean?
I dive into that thing.
Yeah, for the first month. But then when all the women that are 280 are like, you're eating this fat pussy, you're just like, God damn it, I'm tired of
Dude.
doing this. I can't do this anymore. My jaw hurts.
my face is swallowed by your
Stop
giant
smacking my ass when I'm doing this. It hurts. I got bruises on my ass. I'm a human too.
My dick can't get hard anymore. Yeah.
Well, could you imagine having a dude like fucking like, all right, like, like fuck me to get your promotion. I'm like, oh shit.
God
Like,
damn it. I really want this promotion, but
my fucking hot body. I
Yeah,
hate
right?
my life.
God, these sexy hips of mine. That
That's-
small ass.
That's what the Kardashians say. They're just like, God, I'm so beautiful. Fuck my life. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, the nice thing is we can have good old Al Hayer out there. I mean, he was a small guy, so
Who's this?
O'Hare.
Who's O'Hare?
Al Hayer,
Who's O'Hare?
Alan Harris.
Oh, good old. Man, I've actually had a couple guys tell me that they've talked to him, and one person told me that he actually apologized just for how he was.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so that
right.
was you. And here's my thing, dude. I was a fucking terrorist in my own right because, again, I mean, I was 17 in the military, and I got my E5, I think, when I was 20. And sure, like, I was doing my job. I was shit hot. I was, on the ball and doing what everybody was telling me to do. But, man, I was a fucking kid, too. Alan Harris, I think, was only 26 years old. Still a fucking kid. Just got out of college, and had a couple years in the military. Now he's the captain in the middle of a war zone. Like, I don't care how old you get. There's guys 50, 60, women 50, 60, 70 years old that they wouldn't know what to fucking do in combat. But when you're given that kind of responsibility, you do it to the best of your abilities. And the coolest thing that Alan Harris ever told me was, excuse me, we got awards for something. I don't fucking know what. And he comes in, he shakes everybody's hand, salutes them, and then when he gets to me, he shakes my hand, leans into me, and he tells me, I wish I had an entire company of squad leaders just like you. And man, me and Alan Harris, we butted heads like no one's business. And
Yeah,
I
y'all
guarantee
did.
it was probably 99.9% my fault because I was just a fucking punk kid. There's no doubt about it. People told me all the time, I can't believe you're going in the military. You don't like people telling you what to do.
Everybody told him
And
that.
even in the military, I did whatever the fuck Ryan Crabtree wanted to fucking do. And somehow I got away with it. Well, when he told me that, I just remember that was just kind of life-changing for me because me and him butted heads so often. And then for him to lean in and tell me something that cool, I'm like, man, that's awesome.
Yeah. No, that is
Yeah.
cool.
So
Yeah, I mean, last year, well, not last year, it was 2017. Him and his now wife came here and
He's got a new wife?
Oh.
Yeah,
okay,
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
that's unfortunate.
yeah.
Yeah, that
so
sucks.
he got divorced and
It happens.
yeah. But he came here and ran the Chicago Marathon,
Oh, cool.
and
You told me.
he
Yep.
hit me up on Facebook and he's like, "Hey, he's like, I know you you live in the Chicago area. And he's like, want to hang out?
Good. That's awesome.
That's cool.
And I'm like, I do work like 2 blocks away from where you're at.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, like we went and hung out, and that's when, like he apologized.
Wow.
And I have to
It's a big
say,
man.
like, well, that's the thing is that I never felt more for a guy.
Mm.
Granted, I was, a couple of years older than him, like back in those days.
Were you though?
But yeah, well, I mean, I was 31 when he said this, and so, like you said, like he was like 26, 27 when we were in Iraq.
Yeah.
And yeah, and he looked at me and he was like, I honestly didn't mean to take the hit, and I was like, wait, you kidding me? And he's like, yeah, and he's like, you shouldn't have had to go through that, I was like, all right, cool, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think he has honestly anything to apologize for. I don't think he has to be sorry for anything. He was 26. He did the best that he could, and he brought the majority of us back. And, at the end of the day, I never look back at that time and say, oh, man, that was a failure. I look back and say, you know what, at least we brought as many guys as we brought back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I know that sounds
exactly.
shitty for the guys that we did lose, but you know what I mean? That's not just all on him. Now, I'm sure, now knowing what I know now and maturing a little bit, I'm sure every single one of those guys hits him the hardest.
Yeah.
And I think some of the words that he says really impacts him, and he thinks daily about it. And I'm sure he overthinks it way too often. And I didn't think about that, I think, until you just said that. So, but, man, I don't think he has anything to apologize for. He brought 99% of his guys back, and he was a fucking kid in his own right, trying to do the best by us. And at that time, because we were in a war zone,
And we were kids.
Well, fuck yeah,
Dude, all
dude.
of
I was very immature. I was a fucking kid without a doubt. There's no doubt about it. He did a better job than I could have done. I know that.
But they want you guys young, so you'll listen to what they say.
Sure.
I mean, that's the only way this
Sure.
works.
Yeah.
You know what I
got
mean?
kids telling kids what to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I don't think he honestly has anything to apologize for, but I think,
You know-
wow, what a big person to come back and say. Because I remember that line, take the hit. I remember standing in formation and hearing that. And we all just kind of looked around and kind of broke rank because we all of a sudden lost our military discipline. Like, take the fucking hit. What?
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was at a
Yeah,
higher
see-
level of thinking than we were. We were thinking as, 20-year-old grunts. And he was thinking of, yeah, but we're trying to create a future for this next generation of
Right.
Iraqis. And I definitely wasn't on that level. He was on that higher level of thinking, and that's why he got paid the big bucks as an 03.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's true.
yeah.
I was thinking about Captain Gauk because he was there before.
He was cool, too.
Before.
Oh, good old Gallup with the missing
toes. Yeah. Dude, that was crazy. What was that training that you got that he lost him and called? I keep wanting.
that-
What was that
Well,
called?
that's when we were in Mugadai.
Mugadai. That's it. Mugadai. That's what it's called. And can you explain what that is so the people that don't know?
Oh yeah, it was. God, what was the training area?
It's like Mount
It was
McKinley?
outside of Greeley. And so we went out there, and good old Captain Neil Gallick, he just wouldn't, give up. And so we'd go crash in the tents, and this motherfucker's eventually he's like, all right, I'm cold.
Shit.
Can I come inside the tent? I'm like, God damn it. Come inside the tent. Come inside my sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's -30 outside.
Yeah. Well, actually, the cold temp got down to -75.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
And so this is like a cold weather training, right? Like this is what
Yeah,
this is. It's just
obviously.
cold weather training in
Yeah,
Alaska.
And good old Adam Smith lost part of his ear.
Oh,
and,
shit.
Are you serious?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Smitty?
Yep.
God, I
Jeez.
fucking miss
lost,
that guy.
yeah, oh, me too. Yeah, Smitty lost part of his earlobe.
God damn.
Morgan chewed fucking Smitty's ass out
Yeah, I
one
did.
time because he was like something to do with the FRG. Remember
No,
when?
he was in Rear D, and he was just calling around, and basically, while you guys were gone,
Well, he came back because he went early,
Right.
and remember, it was before we got extended, so he
Yeah.
was only there for like a little bit doing
Yeah.
Rear D until we got back, and then we never
I didn't
got
know.
back.
I didn't know. I didn't care. So he called me, and they basically would be like, okay, hey, this is Sergeant so-and-so with 2-1 Alpha Company, Rear Detachment. Is this Morgan Crabtree, Sergeant Crabtree's wife? And, of course, my heart would, like, die every time I would get a call like
Thinking
this.
it was that call.
Thinking it was something. I know they would come to my door, but you don't know. You hear horror stories all the time being back on post. Like, anyway, so I fucking, and they would do this, and they would be like, we just want to make sure that we have the right number and your address is correct. And that's all it was. It was every month or so, they would just do this random call. So, like, he called, and I had just gotten a call from, like, somebody else doing the same fucking thing. So I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, so he does that shit, and I was like, you fucking state your business.
State your
And then
business.
your goddamn name. I don't give a fuck who you are, but you tell me what the fuck you're calling me about. And stop fucking calling me, to tell me this bullshit. You know where I live, and you know my number. Like, I was so fucking pissed.
That's my wife, ladies and gentlemen.
And you're calling the biggest ginger in the army.
I didn't know who he was.
That motherfucker.
I didn't know who he was.
Awesome.
So I guess he got back over to Iraq and found Ryan and told him the story how I chewed out his
He found me at the gym. I was in the gym, and I had honestly never talked to Smitty before then, and because he was in Bravo Company, so we just didn't have a lot of interactions. And he found me in the gym, and he was like, "God damn, bro, your wife's intense." I was like, "What are you talking about?" I didn't even know. Morgan didn't tell me this story. I'm hearing it just from Smitty, after he comes back, from Alaska. And he was like, "Bro, I call your fucking wife up and just, to make sure I got the right number and address. And, man, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I just got back, from Iraq, and they're telling me, hey, start calling these numbers." So I just call these fucking numbers, and next thing I know, I get your wife on the phone, and she's like, "Fuck you, you motherfucker. Don't you ever fucking call me without stating your goddamn business." And you know how he got real animated when he would tell a story, and he's just like, "Bro, she's shooting from the hip and cussing me out." And, man, I laughed. I'd never laughed so fucking hard just in the middle of a gym.
That was funny.
Like,
Dude,
yep,
I
that's my wife.
I remember working out with Smitty. Like he's the guy that taught me how to work out.
Sure.
And we'd be at Courage, just lifting, slinging and banging,
Yeah.
the weights, and I remember I was 20 years old, and Smitty and I are fucking knocking it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And he was already 37 at that time, which is old as fuck in the infantry. But
Holy
yeah.
shit.
yeah,
I didn't realize.
the
he was
oldest
old.
infantryman in this war was 60 years old and humped 100 pounds in Afghanistan.
God damn.
60 years old, man. I think of that guy probably at least once a day, and I don't even know who he is. But
Dude, I'd fucking die. If I was to put on 60 pounds now.
no, you would be that 60-year-old. There's
Yeah.
another war that kicks off, bro. We would see you and 60 fucking year old ski "You fucking pussies, put this rucksack on. I don't give a fuck."
You would have lost your dad bod by then, and you'd be beefing it up. Y'all be like old RVers traveling the country, beefing it up. Dude, we met this one power couple. They were like bodybuilders. They were 50, 60
Yeah.
years old.
Yep.
And they'd be out running when we were out running. And they were fucking cool, though. They were cool. They didn't have nothing going on. We just like to lift weights. And they were both buff as fuck.
Yeah, they
it
were.
was crazy.
They had sweet bodies, man,
Yeah,
for
they
60
did.
years old.
Yeah.
Age, they didn't know they were 60.
No,
you
you
hear
wouldn't.
people that are 60 and they got all these excuses. They had none of these excuses, and they had amazing fucking bodies.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, just fucking rack it up and, toss it on. I mean, my dad was, the last time he took the Air Force PT test for firefighters. I mean, he was like 58.
Whoa. Good for him.
And
Wow.
yeah, and he just tossed on the gear and
Fucking stud.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like,
It's fucking
pretty sure I got
badass.
this for the next 20, 30 years. I'm pretty sure I'll die from natural causes.
Yeah, you got
before
good
that,
genes.
but
Yeah.
my old man can do it. I can do it.
Fact.
Fuck
That's a fact.
yeah.
I love, people, because everyone will say, like, oh, 60's old, 70's old. No, man. In our travels, we have met a lot of,
70-year-old?
quote-unquote older couples, and I'll tell you what, being old is a mindset.
Yes,
because
it is.
there are people that are 70 years old, and which most people would say, yeah, you're getting up there in age. Like, your body's probably giving out on you. And the 70-year-olds and 60-year-olds that are still in the gym, now they might not be pumping iron as hard as they used to,
But
like you
they're in
said,
there.
stacking and racking them. But what they are doing is they're just doing calisthenics. They're putting up some dumbbells, and they're keeping, atrophy, from
Yeah.
entering their muscles.
Yeah.
They're not just stagnant. They're constantly keeping it pushing. They're constantly on a trail. They're doing some kind of activity. They're out playing volleyball. They're out playing softball.
Good RBG.
Yeah, they are doing. Yeah, look at RBG.
The Supreme Court Justice.
Ruth Ginsburg.
Ginsburg.
Ruth Ginsburg. What's
Ginsburg.
Ruth?
Ruth something Bennett. Fuck, I don't know. Anyway, she's
Ruth,
fucking
yeah.
old, and she's in the
RBG.
gym. She's doing shit. She's pumping iron and stuff.
I think
and
she's
old
like in
as
her
fuck.
80s.
Yeah, she's
and
old.
she has a personal trainer that just tells her, hey, lift these 5-pound dumbbells this many times, keep your body active.
Yep.
And, I mean, she's keeping sharp. And so I really have learned that age is just a number. And, man, there are some 60, 70-year-olds that are out there just fucking getting it. They're not making excuses. I remember in my teens, because we got in the military, you and I, when we were, 18. And I remember guys like Box Rucker, Sergeant Kinsey, even Sergeant Champion, and these guys,
good old
they were in
Boxy
their
and
40s.
And Kinsey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, Kinsey was in fucking
Well, even
shape.
Carter. Even Carter was in his 40s, I want to say, or late,
Yeah.
like 39.
Yeah.
And these guys, they were out PTing guys that
Yeah.
were 18 years old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old, and they would all say the exact same thing because they were all drill sergeants. And they would say, listen, it's just a mindset. If I'm going to lead you, I got to be 10 times better than you.
Wow.
My age cannot be an excuse of why I can't run 2 miles faster than you.
Wow.
My age cannot be an excuse of why I can't pick you up off the battlefield and carry you back home. And
That's
it was
crazy.
those kinds of people that I got introduced to in my life, and that's why also I like that 60-year-old infantryman that was in Afghanistan. Because I look at it and say, everyone that I remember in my, 18-year-olds, that people in their 30s were like, oh, just wait till you turn 30.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 30 now, and I got in fucking great shape in 4 fucking months. I
Yeah.
went from 275 to 212, and, I mean, hell, I think even in Iraq, I only got down to 215, and I was
Wow.
lifting heavier weights now, and I was running longer. I was running farther.
Yeah.
My cardio was better. I was in the prime of my life last year
You know what,
than I
though?
was in my 20s.
You were rucking a lot in Iraq. You were walking probably like 20 miles. I don't know. You guys probably walked a shit ton, right? Y'all kicked
Yeah, it's
indoors.
like 18, 20 miles is what I've been told. I don't know. Nobody had a Fitbit back then because they weren't a thing.
And then we're also working on our hammies, kicking all those doors.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all are doing some
Yep.
crazy workout, like Taibo Extreme, fucking.
Right? There was one patrol I did, and I hadn't talked to Morgan in a while. And I was in a business of some sorts,
like a
and
shop.
we were told, hey, we got to go check this out. So I sent all my guys to go check this place out because to me it looked just like a fucking, business. They didn't look anything fucking sketchy. So I kicked some lady off her computer, and I get on my Yahoo Messenger, log in, and in the middle of patrol, I'm texting Morgan. And she's like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm in the middle of patrol. We're searching this place right now. We're making sure they don't have any, IEDs or bomb-making equipment, blah, 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 blah. She's like, oh, my God, you're in the middle of patrol right now? Why are you talking to me? Oh, I haven't talked to you in a while. Just wanted to say hi. I love you. Hope everything, is going fine at home. And
Yeah, that's crazy.
then I logged out, let the lady get back on her computer, and we took off because we found absolutely nothing. It was an Al Jazeera radio station. That's what it was.
Oh.
And it wasn't until after I got out of the military where I learned Al Jazeera actually has some pretty good news. So
Yeah, they do.
yeah,
I watch them. I watch them a lot.
yeah. There's a little fun story for everybody.
I always like hearing from you.
Oh man, yeah. No, I miss stopping by all the different internet shops
Yep.
and like fucking assholes. But uh, were you around, or were you in the area when the guy set up the tower on fire, like in Mosul?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, all right. So I got a really cool story.
Yeah.
Is that so Smitty and I are, like we're standing by this like satellite tower, like it's on fire,
Shit.
and good old Hodge, like obviously like set on fire, and yeah, so we moved out of the way, and we were standing next to a wall, and sure enough, the same guy that killed Loveless, he shot at us, and so like Smitty's on my right, like we're just like standing there, both having smokes, and whop, bam, like right up against this wall. We both get like shrapnel in the face, and yeah, sure enough, like fucking like this dude shot us from like 3/4 a mile away, and we both like just look at each other like, what the fuck was that? And he's like, and Smitty looks at me and goes, I think somebody just shot at us.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, no way.
No way.
No.
No, I don't think that's what that was.
So
and
silly.
and I'm like, do
That's great.
you think we should go in the courtyard? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
In case someone is shooting at us.
Yeah, so we like walk around, like stand at this courtyard, and yeah, and then I look back at Smitty. I'm like, wait, did somebody really just shoot at us? And he's like, pretty sure.
That's fucking awesome, man.
I'm like, all right, cool. Like, let's stay back here.
Right.
So
Let's stay out of the range.
yeah, so we like sat there like in the courtyard for a few minutes, and like because I was the RTO, I hit up Jenner, who was
God damn,
like
I love Jenner.
the lead, like vehicle,
Yeah.
and I was like, like Jenner, I'm like, did you hear like any gunshots? And he's like, oh no. And he's like, we've got some kids like throwing firecrackers out here. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh.
And sure enough, like there were kids like throwing like firecrackers like out by him.
Damn.
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, well, Smitty and I literally just almost got shot in the face.
Oh,
like,
shit. Yeah.
It was a decoy.
Decoy, as I say.
Now, what does an AK-47 round sound like to you, Ski, when it passes by your head?
well, I mean, you get like the nice loud crack.
Yep.
And
Sounds like a firecracker, right?
yeah.
Identical to
and-
that. Pow!
Yeah.
Really?
And literally like right against the wall, which is where you normally stay.
Yep.
Yeah, that bad boy pings off there, and it's like an M80 going off in your face.
God,
know.
yeah.
That's funny.
That's crazy.
No, I was just talking about it with somebody else today. That was in 4th ID.
The Germany one. Which one's that?
Which Germany?
Third.
That's 4th ID, huh?
No, 4th ID
Ski.
is
Who's in Germany?
Fort Hood.
Well, the 172nd is back in Germany now.
No. I know they got
Before
re-stood up in Germany, but I mean the mechanized unit before there were strikers in Germany. What is that, 4th ID?
No, 1AD. That's Old Ironsides.
Old
Old
Ironsides, 1st
Ironsides,
ID. That's what
yeah.
it is. Well, so anyways, and we were talking about that earlier today, and yeah, I was saying the same thing, like where when you know when an AK goes off by your head, a round shoots by your head because it is a loud crack and just crack, or pop.
That's
Just
crazy.
it's a loud firecracker next to your ear. That's how you know when you just missed, a round going to your face. So you're talking about taking a round. So it was Myron is in the air guard hatch. It is me, Member Sergeant Clark, and then Chavez, not Scout Chavez, Pedro Chavez. And we're out at, you remember where Lesbian Loop was? The two naked ladies? Okay. So anyways, it was a statue of two naked ladies holding water, pouring water on each other or whatever. We just called it Lesbian Loop. And so anyways, we're in that little circular driveway where you can go get some kebabs and whatever off the grill in their little city over there. And so Myron's in the air guard hatch, and it's me on the left side, Clark on the right side, and then Chavez is eating a taco off the side of Clark. And I know that sounds completely racist, but it's totally not. He had found a taco in fucking Iraq.
Of course he did.
So, anyways, me and Clark, we're sitting, across from each other, and you just hear that crack, pow, and then all of a sudden that pow was just the brick behind us exploding. And so Clark had just opened up one of those like Tab grape fucking drinks, and it's back in Iraq. They still have those old like 1970 pull tabs.
Oh,
it's not the
shit.
pop tops,
Okay.
And so he had just pulled his pull tab, took a drink, and pow, crack, all that freaking, brick behind him blowing up. And we look at each other, and Chavez is still eating his taco, and we were like, oh, fuck, someone's shooting at us. And then we don't see Myron in the air guard hatch anymore. And so Chavez has got a mouthful of fucking taco, and he's like, Myron! Just fucking screaming at him. And we see Myron just like slowly lift his fucking head up. So like you just see the top of his head, then you start to see eyes, and then you see his cheeks, and then you see his chin. And he was like, what the fuck was that? And we're like, bro, I think someone's sniping at you. Get the fuck down. And so Chavez, he starts screaming out, we gotta get that guy. And Clark over here drinking his fucking grape tab fucking drink. And he's just smacking his knee like just a fucking old timer. Because again, this is his like second time in the fucking sandbox. And he's like, you ain't never gonna catch that motherfucker. You ain't never gonna find him. Sure enough, we never found that motherfucker. And he just sat there drinking his grape fucking tab while everyone else went looking for this person.
What was that story about Sanchez eating ice cream?
Oh my god.
Does Ski know that story?
No, I don't know. Do you know about when you know the story about Sanchez right after we got extended?
No, I don't.
So Sanchez, for anybody that doesn't know Sanchez is a very well, even kill, even tempered type of fucking person, okay? And Richard,
are we talking about the same Sanchez, like the nice big
yeah, Richard Sanchez. Richard
Rosie?
Sanchez.
His
Yeah.
wife's name is Rosie.
E6 for 25 years?
Yes.
That same Sanchez, that guy.
Yes.
Well, so here's the thing, dude. We just found out that we got extended, okay? And it was 24 hours before we were coming home. And there was people even midair that got turned around in Germany to come back to Iraq. And there was people that actually had just landed in Alaska. They had to get back on the plane, come back to Iraq.
Right.
Well, so we just find out we're still in Iraq, and we're on Fob Merez over in Mosul, northern Iraq. And,
we were at Merez. We were on... God, what was that stupid base?
Merez?
I don't know. Yeah. Well, at Merez, we were at. God, I fucking hated that place. Like, so stupid.
Well, Merez, for any of you guys that can actually remember your history, Merez was the chow hall that somebody walked into the chow hall and blew themselves up, killed a bunch of soldiers. Okay,
Right.
And so
Wait,
that's
did they blow themselves up, or was it a mortar round?
I think it was a mortar, actually. Yeah. I think it was a mortar.
I thought it was somebody with a suicide vest, and that's why they started adding the
Oh, it might-
security
Oh,
guards.
maybe
Yeah.
it was a suicide vest.
That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
we had security guards before we went in the chow
You're
hall.
right. You're right.
Because I mean,
Yeah,
you
well,
can't you can have security and a mortar still come.
I'm gonna see this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look it
good
up right
buddy.
now.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
do the
a
Joe
good buddy of
Rogan thing.
mine, Josh Back. He was with the 25th right before
Lightning.
we went,
Tropic Thunder.
and he was actually in the chow hall when that happened.
That's right, because 25th ID actually had it before they were the ones that we did our left seat, right seat rides with. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah,
actually,
it was a
cool
suicide
thing.
bombing.
Told you guys. If you knew your
Oh,
history,
okay.
It was 14 deaths of soldiers.
goddamn, read a fucking book.
4 Iraqi soldiers and 4 U.S. civilians were killed.
Yep.
All right,
2004.
Well, cool thing is you know who I got to meet there in the chow hall?
Who's that?
Who?
Chuck Norris.
Shut the fuck up.
That's fucking badass.
Chuck fucking Norris.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
badass.
no, I mean, you know, because like we were doing 6 days on, 2 days off.
Sounds good.
You know, like and yeah. So I went to the chow hall, and yeah, I'm like sitting there having fucking chow, and guess who's there? Fucking, you know, like
Best motivator ever.
Yep.
yeah.
I mean, the whole Iraqi army probably just like totally surrendered when he walked when his plane landed. Y'all must have had the day off because Chuck Norris was there.
You know,
Yeah.
Do you
dude,
know
I
who
saw
the
Chuck-
boogeyman looks?
I saw Chuck Norris like sitting there, and so like I'm not a guy that like goes and like seeks people out,
yeah.
but you know I walk by
It's
and
fucking
I'm
Chuck
like,
Norris.
yeah,
He
I'm like,
geeked out. He geeked out.
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like,
You're fucking
You know.
Chuck Norris. Yeah.
I'm like, well, I called him Mr. Norris.
Oh my God. Oh, you didn't.
I call him
and
Chuck
he's-
or Charles. Hey, Charles.
What's up, Charles?
Yeah, well,
I like
mean,
that.
Well, I mean, he's wearing his ACUs and like
Oh,
he
cool.
like looks up at me and yeah, we just like sat there for like 2 minutes and like talked and like, all right, I gotta go.
The title of this part of the podcast is going to be called "The Time Ski Met Chuck Norris" or
Dude,
Mr. Norris.
do you know
Oh,
who the
actually, if
boogeyman
you
looks
wanna-
for underneath his bed?
Yeah, Chuck Norris.
Fucking Chuck Norris.
Actually, if you want to call the title of the podcast anything, call
Mr.
it
Norris.
the time that I sat down with Randy Couture at the same chow hall, but we sat down for like an hour.
Oh, how cool.
Oh, that's cool as fuck.
Yeah, and it was like the same thing. Like I sat down with Randy Couture, and like we fucking had chow.
That's when
What?
Chuck
Yeah.
Liddell and Randy Couture both came to Merez, right?
Yeah. I
Yep.
mean,
Pat Anderson got me a signed picture
I
of
remember
both
that.
of them because I was on a patrol or something like that. And yeah, they just happened to be in fucking town. And so, yeah, that's awesome.
How was
Yeah.
it?
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and we were just hanging out. You know, like I was sitting down, and Randy Couture sat down with me. I'm like,
Holy shit,
Uh,
you're fucking Randy Couture. Yeah.
yeah.
But
yeah,
he's
I'm
looking at you
uh,
like, holy shit, you're a fucking
Yeah.
trained killer. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I'm like, here I am, good old Spec 4, you know, like ski.
No, I bet you he had the utmost respect for you, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure.
dude, like he was amazing.
That's when you were
Like,
working out, too. So you were big as fuck back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was 225 of.
God damn,
pure-
you were big as fuck. I remember.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice. It was easy. You know, like I couldn't imagine doing it now, but I mean,
You could.
oh,
You'd
well,
be
it'd
better than you were
hard.
before.
Yeah, but do you remember that Samoan guy from HHC?
Oh, shit, yes, but I don't remember his name. But I know exactly who you're talking about. Because
Well,
I
I
remember
mean,
him
he's-
and Tui used to play volleyball all the time,
Yeah.
and they would fucking
Yeah.
fight so bad. I thought me and Tui were going to just fucking beat this dude up. And then I realized, oh, shit, that's just how Samoans do it. Like, they just talk some mad fucking shit, and you better stay the fuck out of it because it's between them.
Yeah. I mean, really. I mean, we were sitting there, we did the weightlifting competition.
Nice.
And he was my spotter. And sure enough, so I did 345 once, but I could not do 375. And this guy literally picked it up one-handed.
Yep.
Like off my chest. Like I had like fucking 375 pounds. Like it was literally going to kill me.
Sure.
Like,
yep.
Yeah, and he just like picked up and he's like, "All right, you're good." I'm like, I'm about to die.
You know?
No, finish your Randy Couture story.
Oh yeah.
Finish that. How was he, like, talking to and stuff?
Yeah, was he cool to talk to, or you said you talked to him for over an hour?
Yeah. I mean, dude, like, yeah.
I mean, was
it's
he a
all
pretty down-to-earth kind of guy? Like, did he hold a conversation with you? Did you do most of the talking? Did he do most of the talking? Like, how'd that exchange go between Randy Couture and you?
Oh, me and Randy. Yeah. I mean, we just literally sat there and talked. Like, it wasn't like anything crazy. We just sat there and just bullshitted, you know.
Did he bring you any beer?
Well, we were in the chow hall.
That
No.
motherfucker. That's
you
excuses.
were supposed to finish your story about Sanchez eating ice cream.
Oh, shit, but we're learning about Randy Couture.
Yeah.
Remind me about Sanchez again
Yeah,
if I forget.
okay.
Go ahead. Finish up your Couture story.
Yeah. So, like, good old Randy and I, you know, like,
I
we're
like that
just,
you call him
hanging
Randy.
out. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, like, we're, well, I guess by now, like, you'd say, like, BFFs or whatever.
At least,
So-
yeah.
Level 1, at least.
Me and RC were just fucking hanging out one night in a chow hall in fucking Merez.
Yeah.
And Chuck
And,
Norris joined later.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a super down-to-earth guy.
He seems like it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll say, like, the one guy that I wanted to see was Liddell.
And you didn't get to meet him.
What's that?
You did not get to meet him because they were there at the same time, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, maybe they might have both been in Merez, but they might have split up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you did not get to meet the Iceman.
No, did not get to meet the Iceman,
Man.
who was, you know, like, probably, I don't know. I can't figure out who, like, my favorite fighter was, like, from back then.
Well, for anybody listening, you got to remember at this time, this is about 2005, 2006. So this is when Randy Couture and Chuck Liddell, they were fucking going at it. So like
was a
they
big
were
deal.
they were the fucking, you know, the pay-per-view that you were fucking watching, and they were constantly battling it out, and they were both phenomenal fighters. So I just respect the fuck out of them for both of them coming out.
I was only at your house for, like, 4 of the fights, like, between
Right.
them.
Yeah, we always talk about that. We used to always order that on our
Man.
55-inch big box screen
That
TV.
was the best investment ever.
Yeah, no, it really was. That's awesome. You remember that.
Y'all would be rolling around on the ground and shit.
Dude, I remember everything. I have a goddamn memory that
Yo.
you will not believe.
Remember Satan, our black dog, would go around and hump everybody?
Yep.
And then he would pick up all the beer bottles, too.
Yep. I remember that.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Our dog, Satan, the black dog. The dog sled dog. We got him from a Iditarod dog sled team owner.
Well,
You remember the black dog? I thought you remember everything.
Well, I mean,
some of it.
most things.
I mean, I'm just saying. Now
Were
put
you
me on
there the
spot.
night that Ryan spit?
All right, Krabby,
No.
stop giving me a hard time here.
I'm
we
sorry.
we had a party at our house. It was the first night Ryan was ever nasty to me, and
Ooh, I already
he-
know where you're going with
he
this.
spit coconut
Pineapple. No, it's pineapple.
coconut in my face. And I remember Bates was there, and
Goddard was there.
somebody else was, and I started fucking freaking out.
God damn. You just went like real as fuck on that one. God damn,
Yeah,
I wasn't
no, that
ready.
was
No, I
funny.
did that. No, I did that, ladies and gentlemen. That just fucking happened.
Dude, that was funny as fuck. Well, you were like 19 years old, I guess. Yeah, we were kids, so I don't hold anything
I mean, it
against
happened.
you.
No. Hey, if I did
don't
it,
give a
say
shit.
it. Yeah. No, I remember that though, because
You were drunk.
I think of
I mean,
this
you were
one
drunk too.
all the time because that
Really?
is the first time I remember ever being really fucking nasty to you.
I was like,
And it was in front of a lot of people. And I remember when I came back, because you left, you went upstairs, you removed yourself, and I came back downstairs, and everyone was like, bro, that's fucked up. You shouldn't do that. And so, like, they just fucking hammered me hard about how big of an asshole
I didn't have to say
was.
shit.
Yeah.
I knew they were going to give you a hard time and rag on you.
So were you there for that one, Ski? When I spit pineapple or coconut in her face?
Nope, I was not there for that one.
That's
Yeah,
good.
no, that happened.
That was the first time anybody saw us fight, actually.
And people still liked it and were like, man, I wish I had your relationship. What?
That's crazy. Yeah.
Well, I remember we were at Gretick's house.
Okay.
You were there, Morgan was there, and God, who was that fucking guy? But like, I had my Vikings like Bali on,
Okay.
and like one of the guys like took it, like threw it on the ground, like stomped on it, like
I don't
and,
remember
like,
that.
you. Well, I ended up like kicking his ass like upstairs. And like Withers and Granick were like pulling me off. I'm like, motherfucker, like, you know, because like my dad had like just been like diagnosed with cancer,
Oh shit.
and
Ryan's
yeah,
getting a beer.
God, who the fuck was that guy?
He was telling a story about we were over at Graddick's house one night, and this guy took Ski's Viking hat and stomped it, threw it on the ground and stomped on it, and he beat his ass. But he said you were there, but we can't remember who the other guy was that did it.
Sorry, I was getting beers. You said that we were at Graddick's house. Somebody had a Viking hat on.
No,
and
Ski's Viking hat.
Well,
yeah.
we
Right.
were at Withers' house
Okay.
Oh, Withers. Okay.
with Granick. You guys were there, and I was wearing my dad's like Vikings like Bali.
Okay.
And of course we were all like drunk as fuck, and like
course.
this guy like pulls it off my head
Ooh.
because he didn't like the Vikings, and like throws it on the ground, like stomps on it, and
What happened to this
yeah.
guy?
Skied his ass.
when I'm trying to remember who it was, but
I don't know who else hung out with us besides.
can't remember who it was. But anyways, you know, like I punched him in the face.
Of course.
You know, picked him up, threw him down, and then, you know, like Withers and Granick, like both grabbed me up, and you know, good old PV2 Sukalsi.
Holding all the rank in the world.
Yeah. Well, I got my, you know, my kudos. You know,
Of course.
fucking-
You know, I think a lot of people don't understand how much the military is like prison. And
I was
what
gonna say
I
that,
mean by
yeah.
that is there is this code of conduct, and there are going to be, you know, because now, again, it's a new day and age. There are women in combat arms now, but before it used to just be guys. I don't know what it's like today. I have no freaking clue. But back in the day, it was. There's going to be guys that are going to test you. Because it just in normal society, there's guys that want to test other guys, and
like
they want to
gorillas.
see, hey, how far can I push this person, and are they a pushover? Can I take more of their commissary? Can I take more of their fucking, you know, chow when it's chow time?
Right.
Can I take their MRE? Can I take their Skittles out of their MRE? Can I take their jalapeno cheese or whatever the fuck it is? And yeah, there's a very, I've never been to prison, but I have a couple friends that have been to prison. I have friends that have gone to federal prison. I've got friends that have done county.
Military prison.
And I've got friends that have done military prison in Leavenworth. And they've all said this pretty much the same thing. Like, you know, day one, you're going to get fucking tested. And if you just allow somebody to run you over, which you didn't, you know, somebody fucked with your hat, and they quickly found out you're a Chris Ledoux fan, and you don't fuck with my hat. So
Oh my God.
that's high offense. I'm glad you got that, Morgan. Thank you.
That's funny.
But yeah.
I'm trying to remember one of the other guys that I like stood up.
Did you get your ass
He
beat
lived.
at
Oh.
work? Like, did you get your butt beat up? Like, I mean, like, you get smoked every
Did you
day?
get smoked?
by
Not your ass beat,
but
but did
like-
you get smoked?
by the E4 Mafia?
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah.
They
See,
were
yeah.
horrible when we first got to
Ryan
Alaska.
would come to home and be like,
oh yeah. The
so
E4
pissed.
Mafia was like really bad.
And they didn't even go, right? Like none of them. None of them went to Iraq with you guys.
None of them stayed. No, nope. They were pussies. They were fucking hardcore because they had some rank, but as soon as they found out they had to go to Iraq, they all did cocaine, meth, weed, or
Whatever.
some people like jumped off buildings, broke their legs. Some people shot themselves. Yeah, man, it was ridiculous. All
crazy.
of a sudden, that E4 mafia turned into a bunch of pussies.
Yeah.
Well, I will have to say the one guy that I will stick up for is good old Tommy Childers.
Childers. How does that sound familiar?
I remember one time. The only
that guy has more Article 15.
Yes.
Oh my
True soldier.
God.
True fucking soldier, man.
Jesus Christ.
He's earned his E5. I don't know, more than PJ.
Oh my
had ever had to
God.
earn it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he probably had his E5 like 5 times.
Oh my
The
God.
first interaction I ever had with Childers, and again, I'm telling you, keep prison in the back of your fucking mind. You know, I'm in this new fucking unit, and I mean, I'm an E fucking nothing. I have an E1. I mean, E1 doesn't even get fucking ranked. I mean, that's how low you are. You have shit on your fucking chest. Anyways, what was it? Childers, I don't know. He said, oh, no. Childers said something about you, Morgan. You had dropped me off in your Saturn.
Oh, that's right.
And he was like, man, your wife's hot as fuck, blah, 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 blah. Started talking shit. And the only interaction I ever remember, like, you know, confrontation having with Childers was he said something about you, and I fucking blew my top. And Goddard was right next to me, and he died laughing because he, you know, he remembers me from fucking OSIT training. And when people would talk shit, you know, like they were getting confronted, hit, fucking, you know, socked up, whatever the fuck it was.
He was like, "You don't talk about Morgan, bro."
And that's and so, you know, here's me fucking E nothing, and here's fucking, you know, Goddard E3 nothing, and here's Childers in E5, and he's saying something about you, and so I'm going the fuck off, and Goddard starts laughing, and Goddard goes, "Hey, bro, I'm going to let you right now." And he's talking to Childers. He goes, "I'm going to let you know right now. You better shut the fuck up or he's about to beat the fuck out of you. He doesn't give a fuck about your rank, Roger." And then that's when I finally came to and was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, all right, maybe I'm taking this a little too extreme or whatever. And I kind of walked away after that. But, you know, after that, Childers and I, we had no fucking beef.
Yeah.
He didn't fuck with me. He never smoked with me. He never fucked with me ever after that.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, anybody who's maybe thinking of going to the military, just think of prison. And I don't mean that to scare you. I mean, laugh at that. Have fun with that. Because, again,
You're getting
they're
paid, at
human
least.
beings just like you're a fucking human being, just like when you go to fucking prison. And listen, man, handle your fucking business. And as long as people know that you're, you know, down to handle your fucking business, they won't fuck with you after that. Just don't be a punk.
Good old Tommy Childers.
He's good people.
Up. Yeah. I mean, he fucked me up like hardcore. You know, like this was a couple days after Bridges got fucked up, and Bridges said, "Can't smoke a rock."
Oh, shit! That's some Alpha 119 nonsense.
Damn.
Yeah. So I'm like sitting there getting my ass smoked by fucking Childers, and
Can't smoke a rock, drill sergeant.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, it was like an hour, and like Childers
yes.
like,
Jesus.
"Are you
Christ.
fucking done yet?" I'm like, "Can't smoke a rock." Oh, you motherfucker! And
Bitch,
like,
I
he, like,
smoke
put-
rocks.
Yeah, and he put me back down, and you know, like, so I sat there, probably did like another couple hundred push-ups or whatever.
Front lean rest position. Move.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
but I just remember like I like stood up in front of him, like completely drenched in sweat,
Yeah.
and Lieutenant Olson walks in. You remember Lieutenant
Of
Olson?
course. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he smoked the fuck out of me too.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I came to
Wow.
work drunk one day.
Oh.
Oh.
Hey, better to get
And-
smoked than to fucking have some paperwork follow you.
Yeah, oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
And Lieutenant Olson, like, he did a number on me.
Oof.
You know what I remember about Olsen? Real quick, little segue. We were playing fucking tackle football over at the PFC. You remember when we'd play that? That's why I said
Yeah.
I love fucking Jenner. He used to come out shit-faced fucking drunk and hitting the fuck out of people hard as fuck. And we were all worried about like getting hurt and, you know, like, you know, the Army Article 15 in you for damaging government property. because they were already mad that we were playing football at the PFC and not just playing flag or touch. We were actually tackling each other. And so anyways, Olsen came out, and he got the ball, and I remember I was so much larger than Olsen, and I just remember coming in on him thinking, I'm going to fuck this little boy up. And as soon as I tackled him, hit him, my whole body shut the fuck down, and I just stayed in one position and fell to the ground. And
Dude, that guy's a rock.
so he used to
Jesus.
play rugby. And later after the game, I walked up to him and I was like, what the fuck did you do to me? You know? And he goes, you got to, first off, you don't know how to tackle. I can tell you used to play football, not rugby. You can't tackle for shit. And he goes, the second thing is, I know how to take the fucking hit, and I know how to give the hit back. And he was like, seriously, the ultimate running back. I thought I was about to hurt this little fucking man. No, I hit him, and he hurt me. He knew how to take the hit, and then I did not know how to tackle correctly. He was 100% right. I just grew up playing football, thought I could hit fucking everybody. No, that's the day I learned about rugby players, and those motherfuckers are tough. If you don't know how to tackle, you're going to learn when you play with a rugby guy. He'll teach you quick.
Yeah, head off to the side, arm out, fucking drive in.
Man, those rugby players, they're no bullshit, man. And I don't know why more either NFL or even just fucking, children's leagues do not associate themselves with fucking rugby. Rugby, you have no pads, you have no fucking helmet. But these guys are getting hit just as hard, if not harder, and just they know the techniques. They know how to tackle. They know how to make the fucking clean hit and it not hurt you. Just put the hurt on somebody else. Olsen was the very first person to teach me that.
Yeah, Olsen was fucking...
He was a stud. But he was small.
Yeah.
He was a tiny man. He was very, very, I thought he was kind of fragile. And then once I played football with him at the PFC, I realized that guy is not, he's like the Wu-Tang Clan. Nothing to fuck with, man. I was afraid to tackle that motherfucker after that. We're coming to you from our 49 square foot podcast studio, 100% powered by solar in our schooly Chitty Bang.
You can find our shenanigans online at thecrabshomestead.com and Talkin' Chitty on Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow our schooly life on Facebook at Chitty Bang Schooly and Instagram at The Crabs Homestead.